so good. Hey, sorry I'm late. Happy.
You look nice.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. New dress?
Yes, it is. How'd you know?
What just happened?
Planning a trip?
Mm-hmm. Going to Europe. It's a school trip.
Did you get your passport?
Peter Parker here to pick up a passport, please.
Mini toothpaste?
Mm-hmm.
Pack your suit.
I just want to go on my trip with my friends. Europe doesn't really need a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. You look really pretty.
Therefore, I have value.
No, that's not
I'm
right.
messing with you. You look pretty too.
I just want to spend some time with MJ. I think she really likes me, dude.
That reminds me when I first fell in love. I had just finished my film called.
So nice to finally meet you, Spider-Man.
You're Nick Fury.
Put some clothes on. Let's go for a ride.
Is he gonna be okay like that?
Might want to turn him over so he doesn't swallow his tongue.
I think Nick Fury just hijacked our summer vacation.
Awesome!
You got gifts, Parker, but you have a job to do. Are you going to step up or not?
You're all alone. Your friends are in trouble. What are you gonna do about it?
You don't want any part of this.
Who is that guy?
He's like Iron Man and Thor rolled into one.
He's no Spider-Man.
What is it with you and Spider-Man?
What, he looks out for the neighborhood, has a dope suit, and I really respect him. Sup, dickwad?
Hey everyone, so this morning we got surprised with the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, so I'm here to talk about it and break it down and just kind of go into what we saw in it and all the cool things. So first we see Spider-Man with Aunt May at what looks like a homeless food drive or something, and we know that Aunt May knows now that Peter is Spider-Man because at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming, she walks in, he's got the suit on, that funny little line there. So it seems like she's cool with it. She's supportive of him being Spider-Man, which is nice. You got that funny scene with Happy as well, kind of trying to flirt with Aunt May, so that was cool. As Peter talks about, they're taking a class trip, and they're going to go to Europe and see the sights and everything. And you see him in Mr. Delmar's deli, talking with him about it. And while in the deli, we know that it was destroyed from Spider-Man's encounter with the guys that were robbing the bank. And so in the background above the cashier, you see photos of Mr. Delmar with Spider-Man and everything. So that was just kind of a cool nod to what happened in the past. As you see Peter swing through New York, you see him swing right in front of what used to be Avengers Tower. Now, Avengers Tower was sold in Spider-Man Homecoming. We know that it was being sold. That's why they were moving everything out, and that was the Vulture's whole deal, was to try to steal the things that they were trying to move to upstate New York. And when we heard that that was being sold, I mean, there was a lot of theories and everything about who that could be sold to. During that time when Spider-Man came out, there were still in the early talks with Fox about getting the Fox Marvel properties like X-Men and Fantastic Four. And so some people thought maybe it was the Baxter Building, which is where the Fantastic Four's headquarters are, but more than likely it's going to be Oscorp. You can see that Avengers Tower is under a bunch of scaffolding and it's being remodeled. The prevailing theory is that it's going to be Oscorp, which we'll see in later movies, but that's kind of neat that they're setting that up. And you see that Peter is getting ready to go on this trip, and Aunt May says, hey, grab your suit. And he says, nah, I'm okay. Europe doesn't need a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm just going to leave it be. Because obviously after being dusted in Avengers Infinity War, he wants some well-deserved time off. And so that's kind of interesting that, you know, they're following up on this traumatic event that he had where he doesn't want to have to worry about hero things. He just wants to focus on taking a trip and just being a kid for a little bit. And what was also cool is as you see him packing, the initials that are on that suitcase are BFP. So odds are that's a nod to Ben Parker, Uncle Ben. I did a bunch of research and tried to see if Uncle Ben had a middle name. I don't know that he did. There were a couple other iterations of Ben Parker that, you know, his middle name is Franklin, but for all intents and purposes, he's using Uncle Ben's suitcase. So that was kind of cool. They also had an international trailer come out that was pretty similar to the one that I tagged at the front of this, but there was a slight change, and I'll show you a clip from that now that has to do with his suit.
These, no.
No banana. Great.
So it's just kind of funny because Aunt May packs the suit in there for him just in case, and the customs lady has no idea what it is. She just gets on him about a banana, which was pretty funny. You start to see the romance between MJ and Peter and kind of that relationship start to come into fruition. And as he's talking with Ned about it, they're going into the room. Ned gets hit with a dart, and you see that Nick Fury is there wanting to bring Spider-Man into something that's going on. And now what we know from the plot is that there are these 4 elemental creatures. And that's like the rock monster that you see in the trailer, the water one, whatever's causing that big storm. And Nick Fury's trying to figure out what's going on with these, where they came from, and how to take care of it. So he brings Spider-Man in to help try to fight those. And they just happen to be in Europe where Peter is at that time. Now, with that, he's trying to fight them, and then we see the introduction of Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio character. Now, Mysterio's real name is Quentin Beck, and he is a special effects master in the comics. So everything that he does is an illusion, and he's very good at, you know, playing these tricks and putting up these illusions that have helped him beat Spider-Man in the past and have helped fight against him. But he is a villain. Now, it looks like in the trailer that he's fighting the elementals and everything. Now, we don't know exactly what the tie is, but Nick Fury also brings in Quentin Beck to fight these elementals because he claims that he's the only one that knows how to fight them. And what that goes into is, again, just that side of Quentin Beck where everything's an illusion. He wants to be a hero. He wants to be well known. He has these many talents within special effects, but he's a fraud about doing it. So just kind of like in The Incredibles, how Syndrome had no powers. He wasn't super or anything. He makes the Omnidroid, and you know, he's the only one that can fight it. It's that exact same type of thing. In the comics, Mysterio actually impersonated as Spider-Man, did a bunch of crimes, just made Spider-Man look like the menace that, you know, John Jameson says that he is, when really it was just Quentin Beck impersonating so that he could look like a hero as Mysterio. So odds are we're going to see that come into light, that maybe these elementals aren't anything more than just Quentin Beck's own creation to try to make himself look like a hero, and he will most likely end up being the main villain of the film, which I'm really excited about. Mysterio is one of the really cool Spider-Man villains in the comics. We haven't seen him on screen, and that's what I love that Marvel Studios is doing, is that they're taking these great villains that we haven't seen before and showing them to us in a really compelling and awesome way. And I love also that Jake Gyllenhaal's suit looks fantastic. It looks just like his comic book iteration with the gauntlets on his wrists, the fishbowl helmet, the cape, everything. And what's also kind of funny as well, I don't know how many of you know this, but Jake Gyllenhaal was going to replace Tobey Maguire in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films as Peter Parker in Spider-Man because Tobey Maguire had broken his arm or something while shooting it, and they tossed around the idea of recasting. They didn't, obviously, but Jake Gyllenhaal just has kind of a funny history and tie-in to the Spider-Man universe. But basically, that's the trailer. That's everything that happened in there. That's everything that I could find. If you guys saw anything that I missed, or if there was any particular parts that you liked, let me know what you thought about it below. And let me know if you're excited as well. I definitely am. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan and can't wait for July and, of course, April with Avengers Endgame. And just everything coming up this year, it's looking to be really great. So anyway, have a great day. I'll see you next time.